I don't know if you're wanting me so that you can teach your wife something about your county or if you're wanting to use this to make fun of your wife, which I would never, ever, ever, try to give a spouse one thing over another one and to hang over their head to make fun of them. Anyways, today we're going to talk about Anderson County, named after Joseph Campbell Anderson. So, Joseph Anderson is going to be from a period of time in Kansas known as the bogus legislature. In fact, he is one of the people elected to the bogus legislature. Originally from Kentucky, he is going to move to Kansas in order to practice law. Now, here is where we get into the, oh God, it's another one of these people. Anderson is a pro-slavery member of the state legislature. In fact, the state legislature he is elected to in 1855 is called the bogus legislature because it is believed to be illegitimate. Why is it believed to be illegitimate? Well, hundreds, if not thousands, of Missourians cross over the border to illegally vote in the Kansas election. The election is so fraudulent and made up of so many just people who weren't residents voting, people voting more than once, people stuffing ballots in, that it was believed that this was not a true legislature. It was a bogus legislature. The anti-slavery movement in Kansas holds its own election and creates its own legislature in the state of Kansas, which meets in Topeka. So you have two competing legislatures, both claiming to be legitimately elected by the people of Kansas. The bogus legislature, which is recognized by the United States government, but was not actually voted in by the people of Kansas, and the illegitimate Kansas legislature that was elected by more people who were from Kansas, that was actually legitimate, was not recognized as being legitimate. Yes, it's confusing, and yes, I have to teach this to 7th grader. So, back to Mr. Anderson. Anderson is pro-slavery. He is unabashedly pro-slavery. He helps pass laws in Kansas that make it illegal to speak out against slavery. So if you own or operate a newspaper and you say that slavery is bad or slavery is immoral, you will go to jail. As the Civil War breaks out in Kansas, Anderson is actually going to be thrown in jail because he refuses to sign an oath of loyalty to the Union, much like the other Missourians who refused to do so who lived in the Byrd District. During this time period, Anderson holds 2 residences. He lives in Fort Scott, Kansas, which he claims is his main residence, which is what he's using as his legal home so he can run for election in Kansas, but his actual home is in Lexington, Missouri. At the end of the Civil War, he is released from prison, and he goes back to Kentucky to practice law, hopefully learn his lesson that slavery is bad. All right, Anderson County down, and don't use any of that to hang it over your wife's head because that would just be mean.